What are you doing?
I mounted it upside down. And look at this. You literally just pull the trigger.
I'm gonna get back to wiring. Yeah. I don't know what
He's like, I don't want nothing to do with that.
I don't want anything.
Holy shit! The car was even celebrating.
Good morning, good morning. I ended up taking off last night. We slept in the truck, and Romy ended up staying up till about 3 o'clock in the morning, if I remember correctly, doing some of the wiring, see where we're at. Good morning.
How's it going?
Good, good. How late did you stay up last night?
It's about 3.
About 3?
About 3 in the morning. Yeah.
We get a good game plan?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Today's gonna be good.
Yeah, sweet. Today's gonna be all the fun stuff.
Yeah. So we're gonna
Actually laying wire.
Yeah.
Laying wire.
It's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. It's already got some on there now, just to pretty much start like just our. I wouldn't call it a jig. For something like this, typically whenever I build a harness, I will already have like my pre-measured lengths. But for something like this, since it's pretty much just like one off, you have to build it on the car. So
Oh, 100%, yeah.
I've been building it on the car, and pretty much I'll start at one length, and then we'll go to the wall. I go to the wall, I make my connection, and then I will go from the back of the Fueltech, and then come out. So pretty much whatever needs to go to the fuse box area goes to fuse box area. Whatever needs to go to the actual back of the quick disconnect plug goes to the back of the quick disconnect plug. So that way pretty much my connections are the same all the way through.
And then I ended up swinging by Lowe's, picked me up a jigsaw because I have to cut out some windows, but I also made a very unfortunate mistake, and I left the cutters at home that I used to cut all my AN lines. So I don't have anything to really cut AN lines like the way I should, or the way I am used to. So we got a jigsaw, we got some cutoff wheels, and hopefully we can just make it work. So we got to start on building all of the lines. Luckily, I was able to get all of the fittings and Georgia done before we took off. So at least we have all the fittings, but we basically just have to start connecting all these hose ends. So let's get to work. All right, guys, so hear me out. This is a little $25 cheap jigsaw that I bought, right? So the idea here is that we're going to put this in the vise like so, clamp this thing down. Look at that, doesn't move. Plug it into the wall. Yo, not bad. In a pinch, it works. And that is the first vibrant line completed on the car for the PRI build. We ended up going with a vibrant line that has this cool little blue stitching in it. Matches the car perfectly. I think it looks pretty sweet. So we only have about 50 other lines to make. So let's get to it. Yeah, these vibrant fittings are coming out great. Well, you already got a harness completed.
Somewhat.
It's close.
So,
Dude,
yeah.
I love the labels.
Yeah, this is half of whatchamacallit. When I design a harness, I want it to be dummy proof as much as possible. Because at the end of the day, when you're at the track and you have somebody helping you, you want to make sure that
have a label where like, exactly. Yeah, somebody looks at it and they're like, oh yeah, we know this is.
Oh, map and crankcase have the same plug, so I just put it.
Yeah,
I've seen
exactly.
That happen. So it's to the point right now where it's just like you purposely have to not be looking to not know where this goes. So
explain what we got going on.
All right, so as you can see, there's not a lot in this harness, right? But we have Uego LSU 4.2 for the nano crankcase pressure, GM coolant temp. This is a Bosch, I believe it's a FP2. I may be wrong.
Yeah, that's that dual sensor in it.
Yeah,
that's for oil pressure and oil temp all on one.
So we have Motec HS230 cam and crank.
Yep.
Secondary injectors.
Yeah, so this will be for when we end up adding another 6 injectors. This thing has already got everything we need in it to be able to add that later.
You got your powers and you got your 6 signals.
And then there's our primary 6 injectors.
Yep. So it's that simple. So I have them right next to each other. And when we put them on the car, you're going to see pretty much it's just going to go ahead and hide underneath the runners.
Yeah.
So there's no point in having this stick out, you know? So when I built the, like typically when I design the harness, gosh, man, you got me putting all my secrets out there. It's all good. It's all good. So when I design a harness, typically I will go from, I'll start at one sensor, and then I will pretty much, like what I did for this one, I started at air intake, I'm sorry, coolant temp, and I said, all right, I want it to be sitting right there. So the label kind of makes it a little bit stiff, but I want this to be my junction point, right? And since there's not that much in the harness, I didn't feel the need that I needed to branch a whole bunch of stuff out, but I made things like a little long because obviously if you have a little bit of slack back here, and yeah, you're gonna have the Uego being held on right there with a bolt. But if you need to just take the sensor out, you take that bolt off, you have that extra slack.
Yeah, you got some extra. Yeah, you don't want your wires to be like
you don't
super tight.
You don't need it to be super tight. It looks good, but what I've learned, especially from doing like a lot of show car stuff and race car stuff, they're two different. They're two different people. You'll have something nice and neat on a show car where the engine typically won't come out.
Race cars need to be
race car guy.
Yeah, you need to be able to work around it.
Yeah, the shit will be ripped off, and it's just like, nah, it needs to be loose. It needs to be functional. So right here, you see how we have the 6 injectors there. Instead of having 6 different leads come off, I just had 1 lead come off. It's gonna sit right there in the middle. And it's enough to pretty much reach everything. So that way with everything plugged in, you can still go ahead and take these rails out, because it's a little bit of a hassle to plug everything in with the rails bolted down. So we're gonna take the rails out, plug everything in, put everything back. The harness is not stressed. Then we have our secondary that's just gonna sit, boom, right next to it. We have the oil temp combo right there, crankcase right there. Uego's already plugged in. Cam and crank is just gonna feed right down through the center and sit right there in the middle of the valley. Pretty much you already see cam is there. Crank, we'll put that on later.
Does it come down a little further?
Yeah.
Okay, all right, yeah, sweet.
Sorry, it has a little bit of this being held up right here.
Let me bring her through.
Yeah. That's pretty much it right there.
That's pretty much it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Okay, good. So that right there.
That's literally perfect length, because that tucks the cam trigger, like there's no slack over here, you understand? So like this isn't gonna like flap around.
Exactly.
Yeah, you got that good.
That's what I wanted to do. At the end of the day, I mean, like I've been doing this for September, made it 9 years that I've been doing anything wiring related. And it's just like, these are things that you just learn over time.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm always learning every day, because every single car.
Oh hell, everybody is. Me
different.
too.
There's 3 Civics here. Every single one of them is different.
And like, wait, did you say like every one of these is getting a Fueltech though?
Relax. Oh, so this is what I was saying. So I have a little bit of swoop there, and boom, we go to the.
Yeah, it just lays right over the adapter plate.
And it's gonna go right there to the hole.
90-degree plug.
90-degree plug. Shoo! And it gives us a little bit of swoop, so that way ours is nice and tight. And it's just like.
This idea has probably been one of the sketchiest, but coolest little ideas I had. It's amazing that actually works. We got a lot of the AN lines already made, so we ended up getting our vent can all done, the oil feed to the motor down here, and we ended up putting this cool fitting right here called a dry brake. Basically, we can disconnect these lines with a quick release and not leak any fluid, which is pretty nice. Our Clearview oil filter is all plumbed up down here, so we have the oil feed right here, and then this is the suction line, or the pressure out from the pump. So basically oil will come in through this line into the top of the filter, and then clean oil out the bottom of the filter, following right there to that little quick release, and then into the motor. We have been reusing some of the pre-existing wiring harness just to kind of like make our life a little bit easier, but we have the 6 coils already wired up, cam and crank, and all the injectors, everything's laid out, and it looks like we are basically starting on the chassis harness, right?
Yes.
Well, you tired yet?
Nah, I'm good. I'm good. Right now, I'm just writing down all my information. Pretty much looking at the electronic wastegate, getting all my diagrams.
Yeah, how is that gonna work? So how do you wire up the E-gate? You have like, I saw some like really big wires coming out of it.
It's actually 16 gauge, but we're going to go to this right here. So this is gonna be inside the car.
Well, that's like the controller, right?
Yeah,
so
this
yeah,
is
we
the
have to have this to control the electronic wastegate.
Yeah. So we got power, ground, and these two wires are gonna go to the wastegate. So they're gonna go out into the harness, past the plug. These two are gonna go to a yellows, which are pretty much output wires. The Fueltech has a yellow output wire, a gray output wire. So these are gonna go to yellows, and this is what's gonna control this to drive the wastegate to do either 2 pounds of boost or
11,000.
You know what? We're gonna say 49 because you've already gone 48.
Nah,
So-
I'm thinking 59.
59. 59. You know what map sensor's on there?
Yes.
5 bar, right?
It's got like 100 PSI map sensor on it.
100.
Yeah, we got all the sauce.
You know what? Let's just cut that in half and do a conservative 50.
Yeah, it's a big boy sensor.
Do a conservative 50. But whatever. This right here will allow you to do
whatever boost we
whatever
want.
you want.
Yeah, whatever you want.
And all you do is just set it and forget. You remember that oven?
The set it
the
and forget
90s?
it?
Yeah, the set it
Easy
and forget
bake
it.
oven.
That wasn't an easy bake
I don't know
oven.
which one. Which one's the easy bake oven? That
For kids. I'm done.
He's like, turn the
I'm
camera
getting
off.
back to work. I'm getting back to work.
All right, guys. Yeah, I got you a big old E-gate.
Thank you, sir.
She's house.
This thing is heavy.
Shawty chick.
Oh my.
For the chassis side of everything, this is the plug that we are going to end up using, which we're going to mount on the firewall over there. Basically, we got to drill a big old hole in the firewall, get this thing mounted up, so that way Romy can run the chassis harness, which I think we're going to be end up running everything behind the radiator, behind the catch can, follow this rail, and we're going to get our wheel speed sensor, our fuel pressure, our water pump, our EGT sensor, our basically anything and everything that's on the chassis. We will have all of this on one plug to make everything really nice and convenient.
Roby, come look at this. Does this look like the right height or close? A little bit higher. So that's gonna be roughly in the center. Which I would guess is about right there.
What you got over there, Romy?
Easy right now, but once it's laid out, you're gonna see just how well everything flows together. I'm a stickler for keeping everything nice and neat.
That's why I'm here.
Okay, so this is the chassis portion. This right here pretty much has.
You want to connect it
everything.
at the firewall first?
Let's lay it out
Or
first.
how do you want to lay it out? You want to start at the IAT over here?
Yeah. So pretty much it has all the front sensors.
Well, it's like 2:30 in the morning. Me and Romy just laid down the first completed harness. We have two harnesses on this car, so we conveniently created a chassis harness as well as an engine harness. The chassis harness is done. So we're gonna walk through it real quick. To start on the front of the car, you basically have a fast response intake air temperature that is in the beginning of the intercooler to give us what kind of air temperature we have coming out of the turbo. Then we have down here, we have a connection for the electric water pump. We also have a connection that's for a intercooler fan, that if we ever decide to want to run an intercooler fan. And then we follow it along here. We got headlights that if we want to run some headlights, we can put headlights back in the car, fuel pressure, and then it will follow this frame rail beautifully all the way to the back over here where we got all 6 ignition coils, head grounds, can for the EGT, all with nice boots. Like, these boots are beautiful, dude. You did a great freaking job.
Thank you.
Yeah, give me some. Don't leave me hanging.
All right, I'm tired. So now that's done. We're gonna go ahead and move on to the engine harness and get the engine harness done. So
yeah, and we got most of that already done. It's really just kind of finishing it to the plug.
Yeah,
so
just put the plug on the firewall and that's it.
it might be another one of those like 4 in the morning nights, but you know, I think we did a dang good job for the time that we had.
Sorry, it's already that. So we're already here. Let's go ahead and we'll go ahead and put that plug on. But yeah,
Sweet.
so everything's there.
Hell yeah. Well, while Romy is wrapping up the engine harness, I ended up getting the front bumper fitted back on, got some brand new headlight covers, remounted the wastegate, did a bunch of other stuff to basically wrap up this thing before we take it back to Georgia for one last day of wrapping this thing up. It is 4:41 in the morning. We're almost 5 o'clock in the morning, and yo, it looks like you're tired, but it looks like you got a complete harness.
Got a complete harness.
Hell yeah.
So that is a complete harness.
Look at that, guys. We got these awesome little quick release fittings. These things are great. So we put these on the engine side and the chassis side. So basically when we need to remove the wiring harness, it is a simple turn of a lock basically, and the whole wiring harness can stay attached to the motor and you don't have to remove anything off the motor. So see, all we gotta do is drop this thing on here and we are done. We can load up and go home.
Take a nap and then go home.
Oh, take a nap. Oh,
Take a nap.
go to sleep. Now this isn't a nap. This is a sleep, son.
And then go home.
Full sleep.
But yeah, but overall, I'm extremely happy with the way that everything turned out. It's just like, I remember we talked earlier this year, and then we just ran into each other at FL2K just out of the blue, and he was like, "Hey, I need to talk to you about the car, and it's progressing really fast." And I was like, "Okay, cool." And then you're just like, "There's a chance I might be going to PRI. Are you down?" I said, "Absolutely."
Yeah, 100%.
Absolutely, 100%.
Anytime I can show off the homies' work,
All right,
especially, you know, I'm down.
So just keep me posted, and then I didn't know that keep me posted would be in under 10 days, but hey.
Yeah, no kidding, no kidding.
Hey, here we are, and job is done. So right now we just got to go ahead and we take the intake manifold off. We're gonna go ahead and put the
Start
stuff.
plugging all this stuff back up, and then the intake manifold can go back on, and it's not getting taken off until well after PRI.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
we got one last time of doing this. And there you guys have it. We got a fully completed engine harness and chassis harness. Thanks to Ryno Wire. Bro, I appreciate you freaking staying around. It's been a hell of a 2 days.
Yeah. It's only been 2 days. Wow.
Yeah, no, it's only been 2 days.
It's only been 2 days.
Feels like a week.
It's crazy.
So we got basically everything done inside of the car, or excuse me, on the outside of the car. On the inside, on the other hand, we do not have the time on our hands to be able to actually wire up our Fueltech or our dash or our Nano or anything like that. So unfortunately, it just is what it is. PRI, it's a big time crunch. We're out of time. So at least we got all of this wiring done, so that way next time when we're ready to fire this thing up, we can just make a trip down to Orlando, come see you, finish the wiring, and fire this thing up.
We're pushing it off the trailer, but it's driving back on the trailer next time.
Hell yeah.
Driving back on.
Good. Yeah, man, I agree with you.
Yeah, man.
All right, guys. Well, we're gonna get some sleep. We're gonna load this thing in the trailer. Guys, go ahead and follow Ryno Wire on Instagram. Was it Ryno Wire Solutions?
Ryno Wiring Solutions.
Ryno Wiring Solutions. So go ahead and follow him on Instagram. You got a Facebook? Facebook too?
Yes.
Yeah, Facebook and Instagram. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. 75% of the people that watch my videos are not subscribed. It helps out a ton with the algorithm and everything. So guys, we'll catch you on the next one. We're headed to PRI in just a couple of days.
it.